Turbo and 2K show.
What is up, 2K crew? It is that time of the week again, and yes, we are coming to you live from the new studio. Still don't have a name for the studio yet, so if you are watching live, which there are a handful of you that are, so I want to say thank you for stopping by. But yeah, let us know. Give us some names for the studio. We still haven't landed on one yet, but that doesn't mean we can't give thanks to the provider of the studio, Marcellus News. Go to marcellusnews.com and you can get a subscription, either an online subscription or a physically mailed subscription. And I want to say the online subscription is, I think, $7 a year. So what could you get for $7 a year? That is absolutely insane. So go ahead and check them out, just to have a big thanks to let us explore this space and to come to you live each and every week. But yeah, those of you that are watching live, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, so you'll be notified whenever we go live. And if you're feeling extra saucy, go to buyturboabeer.com and you can buy 2Ks and I a beer, and you'll be financially helping the show, as well as get on our mailing list, so you can see my weekly blog that I do, which I think is very, very cool, and is also part of the Marcellus News. So it's kind of everything's interwoven in with everything. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 2K crew, one and all, we got a pretty awesome show lined up for today. As you can see, 2K's work schedule was again this week kind of insane, so he is taking some time and hanging out with the fam, which is perfectly okay. We manned the fort last week. We can do it again this week. No big deal. But we are going to talk some World Series. We're going to talk some college football, some NFL football. I do have some tweets on board that we can dive into and make fun of, if you will, because there are some of them that are pretty damn funny. And to be honest with you, have I showed you tweets that aren't either funny or informative? So why the hell not? Yeah, let's jump into some baseball. Man, we had game 2 of the World Series last night. I will admit I did not watch a single minute of it because I was enthralled with the Michigan State game that not only had some fireworks on the field, but off the field as well. So we'll definitely get into that when the time comes. But yeah, we're sitting at a tied series, 1-1, and I did post this while the countdown timer was on, and I want to put it to you guys. Are you a fan of the World Series right now, or do you just not care because of the teams involved? And the reason I say that is, well, I think the Astros is kind of obvious. They seem to turn a lot of folks the wrong way, and just because of everything that's happened, I get that. But they've been the most complete team throughout the season, so it's kind of hard to really throw shade anymore, because I guarantee they are probably the most scrutinized and just kind of oversought team out of anyone in the league, just because they do have this thing hanging over their head for quite a while. So there's that, and then there's the Phillies. I mean, who actually thought the Phillies would even make the playoffs, let alone make it to the World Series? And I mean, they are absolutely on fire. I saw the Astros go up 5-0. I'm like, all right, cool. They did this the night before. Definitely can't count them out. And you really couldn't, because the final score was 5-2. And we're seeing some fantastic baseball played, and we're seeing a lot of cats that I really wasn't a whole lot familiar with. I mean, you do have your big studs, your Schwarbers, Rhys Hoskins, Realmuto, obviously Bryce. Bryce is the face of the franchise, so it's kind of hard to talk Phillies baseball right now without talking about him. And you got Castellanos and a handful of others with the Phillies. The Astros, we've got Altuve, Jordan, Bregman, Kyle Tucker. I mean, those guys are pretty much household names, I would say, especially if you are a baseball fan. I mean, Altuve and Bregman have been there forever. So with some of the new cats in there, we've seen Kyle Tucker kind of struggle in past World Series and past postseasons, and he's come up huge. He was pretty much the catalyst in Game 1, hitting 2 home runs, so that was key. But Game 2 saw 5-2. Now this series does heads to Philadelphia, and they are playing on Monday, I believe. And does that in baseball, their whole World Series, their whole playoff schedule is by far the best when it comes to series like this, because the 2-3-2 matchup instead of the 2-2-1-1-1, I think that's absolute garbage. Baseball does this right, and I wish a lot of other sports would incorporate this, because it's the easiest. There's only two. If it does go 7 games, there's only 2 travel days instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 travel days if you do it the other way. So 3, 4, I don't know. It's just more. It's a whole lot more, and it extends the whole playoffs, and just kind of makes it harder to watch. It's harder to keep up with. So, and maybe I'm a simpleton, I guess. Maybe I don't know. But when these, especially when it's a good series like this, I want to see it continually. I want to see it night after night after night. I want to involve myself in it and engorge myself in it. And it's kind of hard to do that when there are so many breaks. At least in my opinion. I could be wrong. But let's see here. Have they announced the starters for tomorrow? Monday. It does not look like they have. It doesn't look like either team has announced a starter. But the one kind of, I mean, granted, the Astros had a way better regular season record at 106 wins. The Phillies had 87. However, the Astros had 51 wins away from Houston, and the Phillies had 47 wins. So there's only 5 wins that separate, 4 wins that separate them. Man, math is hard today. But no, to me that's pretty even. I mean, it's as far as the regular season records are concerned. I think that's as even as you can get without it being exact, because I mean, hell, they had 81 games away, and you're 4 apart. So I think that's pretty cool. And I think we're going to see another great game. And we're going to see, because, I mean, no one's really pushed the Astros so far. They were undefeated until game one of the World Series. And they, you knew they were going to bounce back. You knew that the Phillies weren't just going to go into Houston, drop dick, and take both games. I mean, that's kind of unrealistic to say. However, they did throw their 2 aces. The 2 aces kind of got beaten up a little bit. After Game 1, or during Game 1, I should say, if you do not follow me on Twitter, you should, because wow, I put up some tweets that was being very, very congratulatory and just very much fanboying Mr. Justin Verlander, which you should, because I mean, he's a once in a generation talent. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer guaranteed. So, and he was pitching a gem up until kind of the wheels started to fall off. He gives up those runs, gets Philly back in that game. So, but and there were some folks that pointed it out. I'm really, really over the, well, this didn't age well comment, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And let's see here. Do we have any? I do have some baseball tweets here. This has nothing to do with the World Series going on right now, but 9 years ago today, the Red Sox brought home the World Series title. So, like I said, I just want to celebrate the fact that this is here. This is here right here. I really like that. Thank you, Boston Strong, for pointing that out. And let's see here. For those of you that need a last-minute Halloween costume, check this out. This is from Fryer_Bolts, as I finally found it. It's a 2002 Dodgers fan, and it's a baby crying with a huge rainbow afro with the L and the A on it, and This costume includes 111 regular season wins, 1 postseason whimper, 6 months of butt hurt, warning, choking, hazard. I think that about sums it up. And for Mr. Kyler Thornburg and Rich Thornburg, I don't know where to order this from, but I have a feeling I should buy you this and let you guys wear it around work tomorrow. But yeah, if you're looking for a last minute Halloween idea, there you go. Here you go. And this one here, again, has absolutely nothing to do with the World Series going on, but I found this rather weird, and I'm going to the 2K crew for some guidance on this one, because how is this real? How is this real? And I'm not. This is from Mike Sohn, and Dr. Mike. I'm not ridiculing you at all. Obviously, you have done your due diligence in getting your doctorate and having that DR in front of your name. So I'm not picking on you or poking fun at you. I'm just poking fun at the fact that. Well, let me read the tweet here. It says, "I'm excited to announce I've accepted the role of baseball scientist with the Chicago Cubs. It's an honor to join such a great group of coaches, analysts, and players within the organization. Can't wait to fly more W's over Wrigleyville." Does every team have a baseball scientist? Am I the only one that didn't know baseball teams had scientists? This is new to me, ladies and gentlemen. This is new to me, and I mean, hell, maybe the Cubs are onto something, and maybe more teams should be getting. Well, I have a feeling the proof is going to be in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to this. But baseball scientists, what the hell do you do? What do you science? Yes, I know there's a lot of science involved in it, but we've seen the whole analytics departments grow in all of sports. We've seen, obviously, social media departments in all of sports grow and flourish, but baseball scientist. Okay, we're gonna keep tabs on this one, 2K crew, because I need to know, is this legit? Is this, I mean, obviously it's real, but maybe I should reach out to Mike or Dr. Mike and see exactly what this means. See what it means. What is his job description? What does it entail? Because, like I said, I'm not poking fun. I'm honestly intrigued. Well, let's get back to, that pretty much sums up the, I mean, it's kind of hard to break down the tomorrow's game or any of the upcoming series if they haven't even announced the starters, but I have a feeling it's going to be three. Since the Phillies are just relentless, I think you're going to see this go 6, if not 7 games. So it's going to be interesting to see how that team reacts, because I mean, if they can do what they did in Houston on the road, game 1, and then start that process again in game 2, however, a little late and came up short, but how is that going to transpire to at home? Maybe they jump out to a lead first, which I think would be absolutely huge for the program, and then see how Houston reacts to them being ahead and getting out first. So just a couple things to keep an eye out, and really no more speculation about where Aaron Judge is going, because I have a feeling it's either going to be New York or he's going out to San Francisco, because the reports is that the Giants are, quote unquote, not going to be outbid for Mr. Judge's services. So what does that mean? I don't know. But I have a feeling that Mr. Judge is going to be a very, very wealthy man here very, very soon. It's just going to be, is it going to be on the East Coast or on the West Coast? And with all the boos and everything he got this postseason from the Yankee faithful, I think that would chap my ass, and I'd be looking for somewhere else to live. And hell, if I remember right, he's from San Francisco, so this would kind of make sense. I'm pretty sure he grew up a Giants fan, so just kind of makes sense. So, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that as well and keep you all in the loop. And if you guys need more information, need more shit talk, need more banter, Facebook.com/group/2K crew will get you in there. I don't know if most of the 2K crew is unemployed or just have a lot of time on their hands, but they usually tweet out or post in that group even before I get an alert on my phone from ESPN. So good job, 2K crew. That's why I love that group. And for those of you in that group, go ahead and invite 3 people. I believe we're at 560 people in the group. Let's see if we can get to 700. Let's see if we can get to 700 by the end of the year. By the end of the year, that would be super, super awesome. Well, let's switch up to some college football. Man, we had quite a slate yesterday, and we had some shocking scores, some things that kind of went according the way it should. We had some teams not covered by 1.5 and didn't kick a field goal at the end of the game and ended up losing me some money, which I should learn. I should know by now. Do not bet on Michigan football any longer. I was riding them the first handful of games, and even took a 55-point spread, and they covered. But they cannot cover a 22.5-point spread against Michigan State. Come on, Blue. You can do better than that. Come on, Blue. Well, since we talked about it, let's jump into the box score here. Michigan does take home the dub 29-7, and to be honest with you, this game, even though it was 29-7, the score does not accurately portray what actually happened in this game. Michigan pretty much just demoralized and dominated Michigan State from every single standpoint. Michigan State goes down the field and scores on the opening possession, and after that, big ol' zilch. Big ol' zilch. And Peyton Thorne goes for 17 of 30, 215 yards, a touchdown and a pick. McCarthy goes 15 of 25, 167 yards and a tud. Pretty much where all of the storyline goes here is Blake Corum again has a monster game, 33 carries, 177 yards and a touchdown. He did have a receiving touchdown as well. I guess it was a little pop pass, but those count as passes. But he did have that one catch for 2 yards. J.J. McCarthy has 7 carries, 50 yards. Edwards has a 10-carry day for 42 yards. Edwards does have 3 catches out of the backfield for 38 yards. And Schoonmaker, the tight end, is the receiving story of the night. He had 5 catches for 70 yards, and the folks I was watching the game with even forgot this gentleman existed. So I'm not sure. I've told you guys time and time again, I am not a Michigan fan, so I don't follow nearly as close as you guys do. But there really isn't a whole lot much to say about this. The only thing that my big takeaway, and this is something that we talked about last night while watching the game, is yes, you guys have, and by you guys I mean Michigan has 2 dynamic running backs in Edwards and Corum. I mean, obviously Corum is in some folks' Heisman watch, and rightfully so. The kid is absolutely a stud, and 2 very different runners, and obviously Edwards tends to be a little bit better out of the backfield as far in the passing game is concerned. But one thing that, and it's not just this game, it's been a lot of the games here lately, is the red zone efficiency for the offense. They're settling for way too many field goals, and Moody was 5 for 5 last night. I would really like to, and this is on me. I probably should have done more research, but I would really like to see how many he's kicked this year, because if this team is going to have any chance against Ohio State, has any chance against Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, whoever ends up being in those other 3 teams in the top 4, they're going to need to. The field goal kicker is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I'm not throwing shade on him. I'm just throwing shade on a lot of the offense, because in these big games, it's going to be the difference between a win and a loss is how many field goals you settle for and not touchdowns. And it seems like the only way they're getting touchdowns in the red zone is by running the ball. Where is this receiving threat? Where are they going to get this efficiency from? Where are they going to get the production from? They have the wide receiving core to do it. When it comes down to these big games, McCarthy is going to have to win one with his arm. And he hasn't shown that yet. However, he hasn't needed to. But I would, as a Michigan fan, I would feel happier if we saw him do that in these games as opposed to needing to do it against Ohio State or in the playoffs. That would bother me a whole lot. That would bother me a whole lot. I would really like to see it now rather than later. So that's my big takeaway on that one. But kudos to Michigan for bringing home the dub and from all accounts winning the fight in the tunnel. So that was pretty cool too. And guess shit happens when you have big and little brother going at it. And why that stadium does not have two tunnels as opposed to one, who knows? But it is what it is. It is what it is. My Irish have a big win against Syracuse, 41-24. Syracuse was a 2.5-point favorite in this game. Still not sure how that wasn't higher, and I'll be the first one to be absolutely shocked that this is the final and this is real. We scored 41 points against the number 16 team before this in the country. Yet we have scoring issues against Marshall and Stanford. Don't really understand that one, but good win for Coach Freeman and the boys. Excuse me, I am still a little bit congested and hacking up phlegm. We're basically drowning in it for the last week, so I do apologize. Georgia stays undefeated, 42-20 against Florida. Ohio State, this is probably a little bit closer than what Buckeyes fans would have liked. Let's take a look at the box score here. CJ Stroud does CJ Stroud things, 26-33, 354 yards and a touchdown. Henderson, 16 carries, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Clifford, on the other side, goes 32-47, 371 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. The 3 picks were huge. And Allen has 12 carries, 76 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. has 10 catches, 185 yards. And Washington has 11 catches, 179 yards, and a touchdown. So if this took let me make sure I'm speaking correctly here. Yeah, it was 17-14 at half, and that's after. It looks like in the fourth quarter is when Ohio State decided to turn it on, outscoring Penn State 28-17 in the fourth quarter. So they are still undefeated. So congrats Buckeyes on a big win. And what really would have been cool if that was a night game as well. Playing in Happy Valley with a whiteout, that shit can get crazy. That's when everything can go to hell in a handbasket really, really quick. And okay, just checking to see if I had any. I do not have any college tweets, so that's all right. TCU 41 over West Virginia 31. Oregon wins 42-24 against Cal. Kansas State has a blowout win, 48-0 over number 9 Oklahoma State. Louisville 48-21 over number 10 ranked Wake Forest. USC goes to Arizona, a team that was ends up at 3-5 or 3-5. 45-37, a little bit closer than a lot of folks would have liked. And if you did take a parlay and took the over, or took the spread, I believe that one did not hit. Let's see, 3-8. Yeah, I want to say that was plus 11. So that one did not hit. UCLA beat Stanford 38-13. Ole Miss beats A&M 31-28. Illinois, Nebraska. I watched part of this game, and holy shit, does Nebraska suck. Nebraska is terrible. Illinois is unbelievable right now. They win 26-9. Luke Fickell and the boys go down to UCF and take the loss 25-21. North Carolina over Pitt 42-24. So yeah, when I did just blow right past, Tennessee remains undefeated 44-6 against Kentucky. Let's take a look at this box score. Hooker goes 19-25 for 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let's see. Hyatt, his receiver, 5 catches, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That team looks very scary. That team looks very, very scary. And I'm sure Chad Wilkins is just beside himself as how good this team looks. And let's take a peek at next week's schedule. Well, Michigan goes to Rutgers. Wow. I'm sure that'll be just awesome. 8-0 Clemson comes to South Bend. Clemson is ranked number 5 right now. And how is Clemson a 4-point favorite? This should be at least 17. Get out of here. Get out of here. That seems extremely low right now. Oh, and Michigan's a 26.5 point favorite over Rutgers. Rutgers is 4-4. So, but they're 1-4 in Big Ten play. Shocker there. Ohio State travels to Northwestern. OSU is a 38-point favorite. Let's see, game day has to be in Georgia. Tennessee at Georgia. Georgia's an 8-point favorite. Okay, that seems a little high. Let's see here. Any others that we should really... Bama LSU. Probably the only time this season I will be rooting for Coach Kelly, because my hatred for Nick Saban is a whole lot worse than my hatred for Coach Kelly. So coach him up, because, as remember, it's your family. It's your family. So get that family ready, because and Bama is a 13-point favorite. LSU is sneaky number 15 at 6-2. They did lose their opener on the blocked extra point, which was epic. Let's see here. It looks to be another top 25 matchup. Number 20 Wake Forest at number 21 North Carolina State. Wake's a 3.5-point favorite. So yeah, my takeaways on the next week's slate is: did not expect Georgia to be an 8-point favorite, and the Clemson 4-point favorite I think should be a lot higher. And if memory serves me right, Clemson was on a bye, so everything is just lining up for Clemson to just dog walk Notre Dame, and I am thoroughly expecting it. So when we come on the air next week, I'll be fine. I'm not expecting miracles here. I'm not expecting miracles at all. But wouldn't that be something if we beat the number 5 team in the country but lost to a 1-win Stanford team? Yeah, that would be. And for those of you that heard this, Josh Allen is in the red zone. In the red zone. With that being said, it's a perfect transition, ESPN. Let's get to our slate of NFL games. But before we do that, let's get to... I do have some NFL tweets. And I did want to share this one here real quick, because this was Thursday night's game. Let me get you the exact score here. Ravens 27, Bucks 22. And for that, this actually isn't a tweet. This was in a group chat. It's a meme with Tom walking off the field all disgruntled, saying Giselle took 50% of the Bucks offense in the divorce. Is that too early? Is it too early? No, I really don't think it's too early. I don't think it's too early at all. Well, let's jump into this one right here. And for those of you on the audio side, this is from the 33rd team. This is a new follow by myself, and I thoroughly enjoy them, so highly recommend you guys follow them. It says, in the past offseason, the Colts traded Carson Wentz to the Commanders and acquired Matt Ryan. The results for both teams through 7 weeks. Matt Ryan is 3-3-1, 2,000, and I believe that's 8 yards, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 68.4 completion rating, 84.7 rating, benched/injured. On the Carson Wentz side, he is 2-4, 1,489 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks, 62.1 completion, 84.1 rating, placed on IR. And the ironic thing in this whole photo here, ladies and gentlemen, is combined, I think those two gentlemen are making $70 million a year for this year. And if it's not 70, it's damn close, because I'm pretty sure both of them are over $30 million this year, and I think for the next couple of years as well. So, man, I know there were a lot of folks really high on Matt Ryan going to the Colts, a new situation, a new jersey. Maybe we get some glimpses of old Matt Ryan, but this is not it. This is not it at all. And I'm not saying it's all Matt Ryan's fault either. He is a statue of a quarterback. Carson's a little bit more mobile, but I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not some of these, even Aaron Rodgers. He's not even that. So, yes, at one point the Colts did have an offensive line you could hang your hat on. Now, that's a revolving Dutch door. It seems like everyone's blowing through there, except for Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines, which those two guys have been hurt as well. So Indy did hand over the reins of the team to Sam Ehlinger, and we saw we'll get into that one here, because this was a 4:00 game. Let's grab the box score here. The Colts are very similar to the Lions, in which they keep coming up with ways to lose games. This one, Ehlinger, his first career start goes 17-23, 201 yards. Jonathan Taylor has 16 carries, 76 yards. Ehlinger did have, or it was Hines rather, had the rushing touchdown. Taylor Heineke, 23-31, 279 yards, a touchdown and a pick. He also ran in the game-winning touchdown. And, I mean, Terry McLaurin was the absolute story of this game, with 29-30 seconds, something like that, left in the game. Terry and Heineke have this little, maybe they drew it up in the sand. I don't know. It didn't look like a normal route. But Scary Terry runs his route, stops, and then just takes off and wins a 50-50 ball right at the 1-yard line to set up the Heineke rushing touchdown. And then, because right before that, the Colts go down, they drive down, they go ahead, and it was just a game of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And like I said, it seems like they are continuing to come up with ways to lose games rather than win them, which is concerning if you are a Colts fan. And yeah, for a team on paper that should have been a 10-win team, an 11-win team, they are very, very underperforming and very, very frustrating to watch, and very just blah. Just blah. That's about the best way I can describe it, is just blah. And looks like Josh Allen just threw a touchdown. So that is good. That is good. Good for Team Turbo. Really good for Team Turbo. And, well, that's enough about this game. Let's go to another terrible game. Thomas Carreri. We've featured his tweets on here, it seems like every week. It says, Josh McDaniels is an offensive mastermind. The Raiders traveled down to New Orleans and got blanked. Got blanked by the Saints. And it's not only they got blanked, I mean, and I would have to look deeper into this, but Derek Carr goes 15-26 for 101 yards and a pick. That is terrible. Andy Dalton goes 22-30, 229 yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 10 carries, 43 yards. Kamara was pretty much the offensive juggernaut here. 18 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. And 9 catches, 96 yards for 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, those folks in New England, I mean, you might be missing him, but when you can't even score a damn point on the Saints, and the Saints normally do have a very good defense, so it's not throwing shade to them. You have Devontae fucking Adams. Devontae had 1 catch for 3 yards. That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, Josh McDaniels, an offensive mastermind. Don't think so. Don't think so at all. This is absolutely terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. And he had that run at Denver, and we'll see if he goes back to New England after the season and just says, maybe this head coaching stuff just isn't for me. Yeah, I don't know. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you, or however the hell that goes. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And we'll continue the string of terrible games here. Let's go to the Steelers. Steelers beat writer Mark Kaboli. Steelers offensive line has been atrocious. Yeah, no shit. Tell folks that drafted Najee Harris in the first round of their fantasy league. Yeah, we know. We know, brother. We know. Kenny Pickett, 25-38. And, yeah, they go to Philly. Philly wins 35-13. And, yeah, there was... Jalen left. He didn't even finish the game. He didn't need to. Gardner Minshew did. But, yeah, looking at this, and, again, this was a game I did not watch. It's not in my network, and I don't have Sunday Ticket. Pickett goes 25-38 for 191 yards and a pick. Najee Harris, 1 pass for 4 yards. Chase Claypool, 1 pass, 1 yard, and a touchdown. Seems to be a very, very common theme this week where normally we really don't see a whole lot of non-quarterbacks throw passes, but we saw quite a lot of it today. Yeah, once we get to a couple of these other tweets here, yeah, I mean, this was, and the good part about this game, is that the Eagles keep rolling. Only undefeated team left in the NFL. Jalen goes 19-28, 285 yards and 4 touchdowns. Miles Sanders, 9 carries, 78 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown has a just come out game. And you could probably say that every week. I mean, honestly, with this guy, 6 catches, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, that is just crazy. And now you can see why they ponied up, traded him, and then paid him, because he can do that. Excuse me. And if Jalen and him both can stay healthy, man, this team is a wagon, is an absolute wagon. And they are super, super exciting to watch. Let's get to, where is it? Here it is. I'll foreshadow it with this one. This is from Gump Cathcart. This is, if you do follow the Pat McAfee show, this is Gumpy. It says CMC on the Niners is a problem. And if you don't follow Gumpy too, go ahead and follow him. He's a really good follow. Most of those guys on Pat's show are pretty good follows. But I'm going to show you that. I want to show you that one, so I can show you this one. Bam from FanDuel. CMC with the triple crown. 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown. Christian McCaffrey. It's the first time a player has done so since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2005. And all of that leads to a 31-14 victory over the LA Rams. And if you've paid attention to this rivalry, it seems like the staff over there with the Niners do have the absolute number of Coach Payton and the Rams. But Jimmy G goes 21 of 25, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 1 for 1, 34 yards and a touchdown. On the flip side, Stafford goes 22 of 33, 187 yards and a touchdown. McCaffrey has 18 carries, 94 yards and a tud, and really not a whole lot of rushing by anyone over on the Rams side. Ayuk leads away with 6 catches, 81 yards and a touchdown. McCaffrey has 8 catches, 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. So collectively, he has almost 150 yards of offense. Almost 149 yards of offense. Almost 150 yards of offense. And if you include the passing, he went well over 200 yards. Pretty damn close to 200 yards of total offense. And this was a discussion we were having last night because 2Ks has McCaffrey in our fantasy league. I'm like, man, his value just went way up going to the Niners. And he was like, well, I really don't think so. I really don't think so. And yes, the Niners were without Debo today, and he did a lot of things that Debo normally does. But when you have, and what scares me the most, 2K crew, and this is something that I believe we talked about last week, was when it comes to running backs in this Kyle Shanahan regime, it doesn't seem like they can stay healthy at all. Add on top of that a Christian McCaffrey that's been, riddled with injuries the last handful of years. So that's kind of scary. But if CMC is healthy, and this is going to be cool because we actually get to see him on a good team. Actually get to see him on a good team that's actually on TV, as opposed to Carolina, who is just terrible, absolutely terrible. So I thought the trade was fantastic. Now, some of the other guys I was talking to was like, well, do you really need him with all the running backs and stuff that they have, all the weapons they have? Do you really need him? Was it worth going out and getting him, paying the price to get him? And I think it's games like this that makes him extremely desirable, because there's probably only one guy in the league that can do this. Debo probably could. But man, and then have all 3 of these touchdowns. 94 yards rushing, 55 yards receiving, and 34 yards passing. That's pretty legit. So yeah, hasn't been done since 2005, ladies and gentlemen. That's over 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago. Like I said, math is hard today. Well, let's switch to this one here. Kendra Middleton tweets, I consistently see Zach Wilson and Justin Fields getting better every week. And as you can see, I hearted it because I agree with her. I absolutely agree with her. Absolutely 125% agree with her. Let's talk about the Jets. Let's talk about the Jets, Jets. And maybe. I'm pretty sure that, there they are. I'm getting to Kendra's point here. Zach went 20 of 41, 355 yards, two touchdowns, but 3 picks. 3 picks, and they still managed to put up 17 points, and the defense gave up 22. Now, if you look at, and Zach Wilson and Mac Jones are pretty much the same, they're definitely around the same age. And Matt goes 24 of 35, 194 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And with a score of 22-17, you really don't expect a whole lot of offense. But man, Zach's throwing 355 yards. Wilson has 6 catches for 115 yards. And Michael Carter has 7 carries for 26 yards. Stevenson over in New England had 16 carries, 71 yards. And Mack even has 7 carries for 19 yards. Wow. And you can say, too, that, yes, he is getting better, and he being Zach Wilson, is getting better. So Kendra is not wrong here. She is not wrong. And I think, too, this is going to be the biggest test for Zach coming up, because when you had Breece Hall hand the ball, he's gone. He's not, I mean, he's hurt. He's not coming back this year. So, at least I don't think he is. But this is where we're going to have to see Zach step up and take the next step and become a passer and get rid of these 3 interceptions. And if you take one of these interceptions and turn them into a passing touchdown, the Jets win the game. Jets win the game. So we talked about Zach. Now let's talk about Mr. Justin Fields. Talk about Justin Fields. Chicago goes down to Dallas and loses 49-29. And this was just a game that Dallas was just way better than Chicago. But there's things that the Bears are doing that I like, and is actually giving me hope as a Bears fan to kind of continue this journey along with them. Fields goes 17-23, 151 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. And he rushes 8 times for 60 yards and a touchdown. So it counts for 3 touchdowns. Doesn't throw any interceptions, anything like that, against a ball-hawking defense in Dallas. Yes, they lost. But I think they're figuring shit out, and I'm really, really excited to see where this team goes. I still think they are in desperate need of a wide receiver, a big-name wide receiver. So that is going to need to be addressed either in the draft, offseason, or something like that, because, yeah, you need to Fields is showing us that he is the guy. He is legit, and does need some weapons, because hell, you put all that draft capital up to go get him. Now let's make Kendra right here continue to feel consistent, or continue to feel that both Zach Wilson and Justin Fields are getting better every single week. And now it is time for our obligatory Lion tweet. Barstool Detroit, bags are back like they never left. It's a Lions fan with a paper bag over his head, cut out eye, says #1 fan, frowny face. Frowny face. And yes, this is again another Dolphins come in and win 31-27. If memory serves me right, Detroit got out to a 14-0 lead and was up 27-17 at halftime, only to not score again. So yes, this was Jared Goff didn't have a bad game. 27-37, 321 yards and a touchdown. They got 2 rushing touchdowns from Williams on 10 carries, 53 yards. Tua just does keep, when he's not dying, this kid's legit. And I'm actually happy for him. And he goes 29-36, 382 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And the big receivers over there, I mean, Tyreek Hill has 12 catches for 188 yards. Jalen Waddle has 8 catches for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that is just sick. So, and we had the obligatory MCDC. We're so close. Let's just put this up here one more time because it's funny. And let's do this. And where are we at with the, whoops. All right, let's do this real quick. There we go. Another passing touchdown thrown by Josh Allen. Hell yeah, let's go. And that game is 14-0. Let's look at the box score. A-Rod is 6 of 8 for 36 yards. Allen's 4 of 6, 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones just 2 carries for 8 yards. They have got to get him going. Him and A.J. Dillon both, I mean, they combined have 3 carries for 10 yards. That's got to change. That's got to change in a big, big way. And otherwise, this This Packers team isn't going anywhere fast. I mean, it is just, it's horrible to watch. And I mean, there was Kurt Warner was interviewed by People Magazine and said that he thinks that, you know, both Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers both just look exhausted and they're tired. And I can see it. I really can. I can see it. And even if the Packers do happen to make the playoffs, they're going to be one and done. Because, I mean, teams like this, like Buffalo, come on. There's no way that Buffalo's going to hang, or that they can hang with Buffalo. There just isn't any way. Isn't any way. And I guarantee only having one catch today for Devontae Adams really wishes he was back with Aaron. And, man, how much different would this team be if Devontae was there? I mean, yes, I know Randall Cobb's out. I know Lazard is not playing tonight. But that just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. And then when you have two weapons like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, yes, I understand a lot of times the game gets out of hand score-wise and you just can't hand the ball off. But they're all you got, dude. LaFleur needs to come up with a scheme or something to get these guys more involved, because this is getting out of hand fast. They're 3-4, going to go to 3-5 after tonight. Buffalo's going to be 6-2, and the Vikings are still doing what the Vikings do and just dominating. Broncos win a snoozer in England today, 21-17. Russ cooks, I guess. Falcons over the Panthers, 37-34. That was a game that I don't think either team wanted to win, and we talked about that one. The Vikings over the Cards, 34-26. Let's take a look at the box here. Kyler has a big game, 31-44, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Kirk Cousins does Kirk Cousins things, 24-36, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 20 carries, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Kirk even had 4 carries for 22 yards and a touchdown. Look at that. All right, I see ya. And Kyler leads the way, 6 carries for 36 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, just his stat line just gets better and better every week that he's in this lineup. 12 catches, 159 yards, and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson has 6 carries, 98 yards. Thielen has 6 catches, 67 yards. And so, yeah, the Cardinals fall to 3-5. However, the Vikings improved to 6-1. So, yeah, they're a 6-win team compared to Aaron Rodgers' 3-win team. And the Vikings just they seem to have figured stuff out, and that's going to be. Could the window of opportunity have already closed on Aaron and the Packers because the Vikings have righted the ship? And I think so. Titans beat the Texans 17-10. Pretty sure Derrick Henry had a huge game here. He did 32 carries, 219 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We saw the first career start of Malik Willis. 6 for 10, 55 yards and a pick. And I jokingly last night was talking to the boys and was like, let's put an over-under on pass attempts here at 8. Well, I was damn close. And Dougie Davis-Mills, 17-29, 152 yards, touchdown and a pick. For the Titans to pull this off with Malik starting, this game, even though you do have Malik back there, they obviously put this game in Derrick Henry's hands, and rightfully so. And just, yeah, the leading receiver for Tennessee had 2 catches for 26 yards. So yeah, you're not going to pile up a lot of yards when you only throw 6 times. But when you got a team and a line and an absolute alien for a running back, you don't really need to throw the ball that much, especially against a team like the Titans, which stink. I think that's, ladies and gentlemen, think about wraps. Oh, Seahawks-Giants. We do need to get into that one because Danny Dimes goes 17-31, 176 yards, Geno Smith has a day, 23 of 34, 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker has another stellar game, 18 carries, 51 yards and a touchdown. Saquon, on the other side, goes 20 carries, 53 yards and a touchdown. Lockett and Metcalf both get into the end zone with over 55 yards each. So this is a team that, Giants were 6-1 going into this. Let's remember that the Giants were 6-1. Yes, they're 6-2 now. But the Seahawks were 4-3. So this is a big win for Coach Carroll and the boys. So good on them. Good on them. And we'll see how the Giants bounce back from this loss. I mean, you never know. You never know. And we do have Bengals-Browns tomorrow night. Looks like Cincinnati is a 3-point favorite. And if you're a betting man like myself, I will take that line. I will take that line because I think this is way over a 7-point win because the Browns are terrible. Browns are terrible. They're actually come to grips with they really do want to trade Kareem Hunt now, which is okay. Maybe you should have done that before because you're 2-5. 2-5. So Brownie the Elf needs to come alive and rejuvenate that team, and I don't think it's happening. I really don't think it's happening. All right, well, 2K Crew, I think I've had all the fun I can have for tonight. I hope you guys and gals did too. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, so you get notifications when we go live. And that might come in handy here pretty quick, because I think we've kind of toyed about changing the day and the time will probably still be the same. It'll probably still be 8 o'clock, but we might be switching to a day of the week as opposed to Sunday, just because with 2K's work schedule, everything's been kind of crazy. So and I have no problem rolling solo. Maybe we can sneak a guest or two in here. I'd be fine with that. I would be absolutely fine with that. But we'll keep the show rolling. You guys are awesome I think 7 or 8 of you that are watching. Thank you so much for taking the time out, stopping by, and having some fun with us. And yeah, I honestly look forward to doing this each and every week. And when we weren't going live and just doing the podcast, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but this is much more fun. This is much more fun. So yeah, guys and gals, 2K Crew, I'll get you out of here on that. Have a great week. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you.